Welcome, doctors. Excited to be here today. As you're coming on, remember, if you would, to just put your name and where you're from in the chat. I would love to see where you're at around the world. And so we make sure that we can communicate with you and open up for questions and answers here in the end. So again, if you'll do that, let's see. Let's make sure that's to everyone. Oh, there we go. I think it's open now. If you try it again. Want to make sure that we're on. So let us know where you're from and just your name, so we make sure that the chat's working okay. So if you do that, and then as the rest of the doctors come in here, we'll get started in just a minute. And so Lyle, okay, Dimitri, there you go. Lyle from Land of Oz, Kansas. Thanks for being with us. And so it looks like the chat's working. Again, as you come on, just go ahead and mention your name and where you're coming in from. All right. Hey, Dimitri, happy Friday to you too. So as you're coming on, it's been crazy. It's nice to be back in the office. I've been out for about 3 weeks. We actually we're supposed to get in at about 2 this morning. We got in about 4 or 5 this morning. So it's one of those crazy days, but it's a great blessing to be here. And it's nice to be able to be here this 4th of July weekend. And so as everyone's coming on, we'll get ready to get going here. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. I had some messages from some doctors that we're going to be gone a little bit early this weekend, and wanted to make sure that we recorded and sent this off to them. So I know there'll be a lot of health professionals that'll be watching this just over the weekend. So we're super excited to be able to share with you some information. And remember, the way our format is that we'll have this presentation right now, and then in a few minutes we'll switch over and have you click on a link to be able to go to the retail version, the patients and the people out in the public, and we'll do the webinar for them and go into more detail. So we're just going to focus with you and get your questions answered today as we get started. So the webinar that we're going to be doing for your patients and the public is about focus intense thought. And as normal, such a great honor, we have Dr. Janine Ridgway with us. Dr. Janine, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And we're excited to be able to have Dr. Janine bring her expertise to us and be able to help out. I'll be on the advisory board, and she has such a phenomenal story of having her clinic and working with patients, and then just kicking it in and starting to follow a framework and really being able to build her business to where she has the freedom now of the income coming in every month to be able to travel and do the things that she wants. And so we're so excited she's sharing with you that expertise. And as I'd mentioned, this webinar is on focused intense thought. And it's really about the things that are needed to help with brain health, to help with focus. And we utilize the acronym of fitness for your patients. Remember, we're not going to teach you how to do adjustments for you that are chiropractors, how to do acupuncture for acupuncturists, a surgery for surgeons. That's not what we do. We actually bring everything else so that you can be holistic. So we bring in the mindset that we're going to be talking about today, the tools and the tricks to be able to help with the patient with their mindset, to be able to help with brain health that we're going to be talking about, the nutrients, then the nutrition, the N of fitness, the E exercise, and the S&S specific supplementation. So it's really exciting to talk about the brain part of it today, and just actually how nutrition, exercise, and supplements fit into that scenario to help with brain health. And so the key to a strong and healthy mind is a strong and healthy body. We know that. And Dr. Janine, we talked a lot about this and about the importance of it. Tell us a little bit about health identity trait and what your thoughts are on having that mindset and what it is.
Well, I actually love this concept because focused intense thought, the mindset is really where everything starts. It's really the key when you're talking about anything that you want to accomplish in your life, or when you're talking about your health. And it's really the foundation of what you need to be able to accomplish your health goals. So with that health identity trait, you explain it better, but it's kind of like, who you are to the core, what type of traits it takes to accomplish what you want to accomplish.
I
What, go ahead.
No, I really love that about who you are to the core. And I think that's really the key. And what we're asking doctors is for number one, you to create your health identity trait. Okay, we all need our health identity trait personally so that we can show up like we should, that we really would want to. But we also want to have our patients create their health identity trait. So we'll put ourselves on the spot here, Dr. Janine. What we mean by that is that you actually have yourself and your patients come up with words or an animal or something that when they say those words that I am this, that then they're able to make the right decisions as they go through the day. So for me, my health identity trait is a Zane warrior. It's a very specific person, Frank Zane, really healthy into his 60s, 70s, and then warrior being where that it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war concept, where you always want to be ready and to be prepared. So every day I think, okay, what would be someone that is a Zane warrior that is fit, healthy, that's prepared no matter what would they do in this situation? Would they get out of bed on time? What would they eat to be able to be fit and healthy and have a clear mind? How would they treat people around them? What would they do? And how much effort would they put in their work and to serve others? And so that's the health identity trait, is that thing that you say to yourself, I am this. And so that leads you to the things that you do each day, the actions you take. So Dr. Janine, what's yours?
So I am a butterfly, and that's an acronym. So the B stands for better than yesterday. The U stands for unmovable, unshakable, unbreakable. And that's so important in today's world that we're living in. The T stands for time freedom. The other T stands for timeless. Enthusiastic, relentless, fit, lean, and YOLO. You only live once. So those are the things that I think about, and it really helps with redirection, because some days I don't feel like doing it. I don't. But I have to think about, well, if I'm going to be this butterfly, would I do it or would I not do it? And guess what? Usually I do it.
That's awesome. And that's really great. So doctors, here's the deal. We're talking about your mind, about brain health, right? And the key to it is one, to have the right attitude and the right focus. And you have to start with your health identity trait. When you do the same thing with your patients, you're going to find out that you're going to have patients that actually have not followed protocols like nutrition. They haven't improved their health. They didn't stop the drinking or slowed it down or got off the fried foods, or they weren't consistent with coming in and getting their adjustments or whatever type of treatments you give. And you help them create a health identity trait. And all of a sudden the consistency comes. They actually start doing it because now they're saying, this is who I am. And what would that type of person do? And it changes everything. So this is a huge help for you, health professionals, as you go on and you actually look to have your patients be more consistent, or to be more committed to the protocols and the things that you ask them to do. So highly recommend, if you take nothing else from the webinar, is remember to go about and have a health identity trait personally, but also have your patients create a health identity trait.
Yeah, it's really like it's like a silent accountability partner, which is huge. So this is a quote that you came up with, Doug, that I just love. The healthier your presence, the more you can be present. And what that really means is that when you are healthy and when you're taking care of your body and your temple, you can be present. You can get after it. You can do the things you want to do. You can face the world with energy and with joy and with light. If you're unhealthy and you're sick and you're tired and you're unfocused and you've got brain fog, you can't do that. And so that's why these things are so important.
It is. And I love that. And, we were just talking, for those that came on a little bit late, that I got back this morning at about 5 o'clock and, popped into the office, and I was in Idaho with some great high performers the last few days. And I had some moments in time that were very special that I'm like, wait, I'm in a situation right now that very few people get to be in, and I need to be more present. And I was really thankful that I was able to absorb the energy of the room, be present, to be able to say, okay, this is happening and this doesn't happen all the time. I'm able to be around these people. I want to observe what's going on. I want to feel that energy. So the same thing holds true with coming home from work, right? We all go to work, we go to the office, we have the clinic, we see patients, It's draining. We're giving them a lot of our energy. And we go home, and you want to be present with your spouse. You be present with your kids. You want to be present with little things that you want to do, your hobbies, whatever it might be. And the key is that health identity trait. It helps you become more present, but also the nutrition, the exercise, and the supplementation. So I appreciate you bringing that up. And so we're going to talk about brain health for a minute, and we're going to go into detail with this with the patients. We're on in 20 minutes. Is that right, Wet, or 5? 20? That's okay, perfect. And so we are going to be going into a lot more detail. We're just going to want to go over with you real quick what the webinar is going to be in a few minutes, and then get more to some specifics for you as your health professionals, and talk to you about some things that we want to share with you to help you in your clinics right now. So brain health is a critical piece of your overall health.
Yes, I mean, it really underlies everything. It underlies your ability to communicate, make decisions, problem solve, and live a productive and useful life. Truly, if you don't have your brain health, everything else suffers.
It does, and it's really the key, because the brain controls so much of our function on the daily. It's arguably, and really the argument's very highly favored toward this, that it's the single most valuable organ in the human body. And well, it's the heart, it's this. Well, you don't even know that a person's dead. We don't even show that they're dead clinically if their heart stops. It's when their brain does, right? When they lose their brainwave. So brain really is the key. And I think that, one thing I've noticed is I love to get data. I'm a data freak. And we've taken a look at all the people that we've worked with, me one-on-one over the years, and then over the last few years, me and my wife, Hillary, working as health coaches to top CEOs, right, to entrepreneurs around the world, athletes, and these high achievers at an extremely high level. And go back and say, what are the two main reasons that they hire us, right? That they pay us money to take care of them through the year. And it's interesting what those two things are, because you think, oh, it's just to lose weight, or what it might, something like that. Nope. One is they want more high performance moments. In other words, they say, hey, we're real productive at different times, but we want to be more productive more often. And what can we do? We're like, so we go in, and that's where the mindset comes in. That's where the brain nutrients come in. So it has to do with that. And the second thing is, they say we want better brain health. These are the top two reasons that people hire us. So the top minds in the world, top athletes in the world, their whole thing is based on mind, brain health and focus. So you need to know that, health professionals, because that's an area that you really should be focusing on, is letting your patients know and advertising that you focus on helping with clarity, with cognitive function, reducing the risk of dementia, reducing the risk of Alzheimer's. And those are the main reasons that people hire us to work with them. It just so happens that as the process goes on, they lose body fat, they gain more energy, and all those things. Because when we focus on brain health, we have to get the nutrition and the exercise and that under control. So that was a big aha moment for me, because I didn't think that was going to be the top two reasons that people hire us as their health coach. And so I'm hoping that's an aha moment for you also.
Yeah, it's an aha moment for me. So what are 5 secrets to better brain health? There's 5 factors. The first one, sleep. Sleep is so important. If you're not resting your brain, if you're not getting the proper amount of rest, you will not function optimally. That's just a fact. Most adults think that they can get away with 4 or 5 hours. You might be able to get away with it for a moment, but it is going to catch up, because you need more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to give an example of a person I just spent the last 3 days with that. And when we talk, so you definitely want to hang on for the webinar for the patients and the public, and just the importance of sleep there, and the critical factors and what we can do about that. We know we have the sleep gummies. We know that we have the other melatonin. We know we have the calm things to be able to help, and you need to do everything you can to help your patients with that.
Yeah, and exercise is huge too. I mean, there's been millions, not millions, but many research studies on how powerful exercise is for brain health, for things like depression, and it's super powerful in energizing you.
Yeah, and so basically there's chemicals that aren't released from the brain unless you put the body under stress, but you want to put it under a stress that the body says, oh, we're just working to get better, like some type of exercise, not a stress where some critical event's happening. So when you do consistent exercise, the body says, oh, we're doing this movement, we're used to it, we're not going to go to fight or flight mode, but we will release those dopamine chemicals into the brain, from the brain, and be able to help you out. And doing that triggers the brain to consistently provide those chemicals that keep it young.
And then, of course, nutrition. We're definitely going to talk about nutrients. That's a key factor in that fitness acronym. And there's some really key nutrients that really help with brain, help with the focus, with the clarity, the concentration, and the energy.
Absolutely. And we'll get heavily into those in just a minute.
Using the brain, if you don't use it, you lose it. So you have to exercise it. Reading, doing crossword puzzles, journaling, writing, things like that really help to exercise the brain and keep you from losing it.
Yeah, and what's funny is yesterday, this billionaire that we were working with was launching 3 different programs, and he walked by me a minute. He was running from the program we were helping him with to another one, and he took a breath and he goes, "I'm stressed that I'm not stressed." And I told the office staff that here today. I was like, "What did you just say?" And he says, "I'm stressed that I'm not stressed." He said, "Things are working well. Like I want to fix something." Like his brain was wanting to be used. And I'm like, "Man, you're crazy." Like, I don't, he was like, he was ready for things to happen, but it keeps the brain young. You want to be able to, have problem solving issues. And at work, how can I serve my patients better? How can I make it simpler for them to take advantage of the services that we offer? That's using the brain on the daily. And it's really important to keep it young.
And exposure to nature. So you got to get outside. I love every day of my life. I tell people to get outside and get grounded. So we'll focus on that.
Absolutely. And grounding is a huge, huge part of it for sure. And so let's talk about nutrients for a minute. We're going to go into detail with the patients on this, but for you doctors, we're going to try to play it a little bit different, and because you're familiar with a lot of these formulas. But for example, we have the essential shrooms formula, and I wanted to go in and do some research and see, hey, is there anything new out on the research? We know that the mushrooms and that are extremely beneficial for cognitive function and that, but I found that there was a study showed that they did research to find out that there's specific mushrooms that are best for brain regeneration. And there's multiple studies on this showing that the lion's mane, the reishi, and the chaga mushroom, some people chaga mushroom, are very powerful for not just brain health, but please understand that word, brain regeneration. So in other words, what we thought was not possible 12 years ago in the literature, we know it's possible today to regenerate brain cells. And lion's mane, reishi, and chaga mushroom are extremely beneficial and proven in double-blind placebo-controlled studies to help with brain regeneration. So we're going to be talking about that with your patient too, and how the mushrooms also help with the immune system and the antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, and those things in the body. I love this formula.
I love this formula too. And, when I heard Dr. Harris say that it actually increases brain processing speed, it's like, oh, wow, who couldn't use more of that? This is one of the formulas that when I put patients on it, they love it. They don't want to get off of it. They can feel the difference.
Absolutely. And I highly recommend you use that. OptiBrain, this is a Dr. Brimhall formula. He had a formula for years and years and years with previous companies. And we took it and we methylated it and added the whole food culture, pulled out some of the synthetics, and holy cow, this is extremely powerful. Brain is a neural enhancer. So we're talking mental clarity, concentration, intelligence, memory, all these things that we can say because the nutrients in this formula proves that they can do that. And neuroplasticity is a really important one there. Basically, it's kind of like your blood vessels. You want your blood vessels flexible, right? And that's why we use nitric oxide products, the OptiNitric and those types of things in the chews. Well, we want to have the blood vessels flexible so that they can react and not increase blood pressure. Well, you also want the same thing to happen in the brain. You want the nerves to fire, you want things to happen, but not to cause pressure. You want them to be flexible, if you would. That's neuroplasticity. And this formula does that, plus a lot more.
Yep. And also it's for all ages. These students that are under so much pressure, they need the help with their brains. It's phenomenal for them. I've used it with elderly people to help with cognitive decline. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and there's some specific nutrients in there for that too. That's really important. The huperzine A is really big on that. DMAE, the tartrate, even a very specific form of green tea leaf extract, Bacopa monnieri. There's just this thing's loaded. It's one of those everything plus the kitchen sink situations. And then one that people don't talk about enough, I think, for brain health, and that's MitoForce. And this is another formula that really focuses on brain health from the mitochondrial standpoint. And that's really an area that I think we overlook when we talk about brain health, and having the phosphatidylcholine and all of these things that help with the mitochondria, but for the brain.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the brain uses so much energy and it never stops. And we need those mitochondria to be healthy to create that energy.
Absolutely. So the other product that, like, why is this in Brain Health Month? And it's really interesting is because there is so much research with probiotic supplementation, improving cognitive function. We're talking thousands of studies. And the best way to introduce, in my opinion, probiotics to your patient is to put them on the 21-day Blitz challenge. That's where they're eating healthier foods. It gives the probiotics in the gut time to grow, kills off the pathogenic bacteria. They're living this lifestyle. They're counting the sugar. They're not feeding the pathogenic bacteria. They're really able to balance the gut and get it going. And remember, 90% of the serotonin is created in the gut. 50% of your dopamine is created in the gut, right? And so the major brain chemicals are created from signals from the gut. And so we need to get our gut correct.
Absolutely. This is, when I first started using this, when this first came out, that's what I noticed most was better, deeper sleep and just better moods, just feeling good all the time.
Yeah, and so you'll see the study on here, the pursuit of healthy aging, effects of nutrition on brain function and probiotics. And so really, really important. So recapping, your patients need to know how important brain health is. Doctors, you really need to focus on that. And if you want a new avenue to get new patients, let everyone know that you're a brain health expert, because you have the tools. You have the lifestyle program, the 21-day Bliss challenge. You have the individual products that are the best in the world as far as nootropics and brain health and brain regeneration. Remember, as we started, and the top nootropic ingredients, that are guaranteed to be delivered to the brain. And that's really key. And then, number 3, Dr. Janine, it's super important, isn't it?
Yeah. Ask patients if they want a stronger brain. Do they want more focus? Do they want more clarity? When they really sit down and think about it, they realize how important it is, and, make the necessary changes to have that.
Absolutely.
And then give them the nutrients, because they're already seeing it everywhere. Everywhere you look, you're seeing something about mushrooms. You're seeing something about these nootropic, formulas. And so we've got really the best formulated with all of the cofactors, and they're pre-digested. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And so we're going to jump to what's coming up, so we can get on to that next seminar, but we'll spend some real exciting time with you, hopefully in a few minutes, and you'll pop over. We'll put the link in. In fact, when you'll throw that in right now. Wyatt, don't click on it yet, but when we get off this, you'll click on this link. So our 4th of July sale, and this is important. This is for you off of Wholesale Doctor, 17.76. Get it? 1776 off of all products off of Wholesale. And so just use the code early 4th. You can do it now because we're starting it now for you, those of you that are on here, the rest of the crew, the doctors around the nation, and that get it started tonight at midnight. But you can get started early on that. And it's a really, really great deal, so that you'll be able to just enjoy getting stocked up as we move into the 4th here. And you can scan or visit ohsforlife.com/focus, or just scan the barcode, or just use the code early 4th at checkout. Okay, so scan that. You really want to utilize direct scripts big time, because now with this going out, we're going to send emails out to all the patients and the discount that's there, and they're going to want to take advantage of it. This is a great way to say, hey, I wanted to send you this. I've been wanting to put you on some brain nutrients or any product. And, right now they're getting 17.76% off patients. So I just wanted to help save you a little bit. and you send the direct script to them. It's a perfect time to send direct scripts. Direct scripts are what create your future doctors.
Perfect timing, because with these nutrients that we're talking about, again, these are nutrients that are high impact. They can really feel them. So when they feel that difference, they're going to want to feel the same way the next month and the next month. So once you get them set up with direct script, you'll continue to make your commission every time they reorder. And
I mentioned to you that I had worked with, let me get this down a little bit, this true billionaire the other day. And I said, what's the number one thing that we should be focusing on in the clinics, the doctors around the nation? And he said, continuity. I'm like, what? He said, continuity. Your doctors are teaching things that are critical, that are changing people's lives. You're teaching them about digestion, the importance of digesting their food and taking the digestion formula. You're teaching them about taking the formulas, doing it off blood work. You're teaching them that, and yet you're not benefiting after the patient leaves. If you don't have the patient on auto ship continuity for the vitamins and the nutrients in that, it says the craziest thing in the world. You're basically just throwing it away, saying, Costco, take all this work that I've done to educate the patient on these nutrients and you benefit from it. He just said it's absolutely heartbreaking that these doctors aren't understanding the importance of direct script and putting every single patient on a continuity program, a monthly auto ship on the top nutrients, what you feel every patient every day should be on. So please make sure you do that. Okay. Couple plugs. Guys, I wish we had more time on for this, but we spend all day. If you are not signed up for Super Seminar, you're going to miss out. I love each Super Seminar. I get pumped for them, but I can't tell you how excited I am for this. Some of the new speakers that we have coming in, you're going to learn some things that are going to blow your mind. The truth about the processed food industry, truth about what's happened in the last few years been going on. And we're going to give you tools and helps to be able to help your patients switch out their medicine cabinet, take out all the junk, put the right nutrients in place of all the junk that's in there, teach exactly what to do, what to replace. Dr. Jean's going to come in and show you step-by-step what to do to be able to build your clinic and your residual income quickly. Dr. Jean, I'm just so excited about the Super Seminar.
Oh, I love the Super Seminar. I mean, it's the #1 game-changing seminar for me personally, and I just look forward to it every year. There's always so many new things. And in Super Seminar, there's really a lot of this focused, intense thought every year.
Absolutely. And it is time to get the tools to help you and your patients fight back against the man. I mean, first they create the problem with all these foods and junk that's out there and tell us they're healthy, and then it makes us sick. And then they sell you the solution. I mean, it's just a big scam, and we need to get our patients educated. We're going to give you the tools to educate your patient to get out of this rat race and start living a life of optimal health. So doctors, please sign up. Make sure you're bringing your whole staff. You're not going to be disappointed with where we're at in Tucson, Arizona. Beautiful, beautiful resort nestled into the mountain there. We haven't been there before as far as any seminars. You're going to love it. Please, please make sure you sign up. And here's the addition, peptide breakout. So if you're already coming, make sure that you're not flying out until Sunday evening or Monday. We're doing at no additional charge, a complete, I think it's a 4-hour peptide breakout Sunday. After we do the roundtable, Dr. Brimhall and Harrison, me and Dr. Harris is going to stay up and do a complete breakdown of peptides. We have some phenomenal more new information for you. We've entered into a large international umbrella research study. And in that study, you can put your patients on peptides under the umbrella of that study. And it's a game changer. And we're going to teach you how you can do it, how simple it is. You really, really want to come. And it'll go till 4 p.m. Oh, I'm sorry. Then there's another thing. July 11th, we're having a special webinar on peptides, and you want to be a part of that. So please, Tuesday, July 11th at 4 p.m., you're going to get emails on it. Jump on that. We're going to talk in detail about the new research study that you can be a part of that makes it totally legal, and it protects you to do peptides in your clinic. Okay. We have 1 minute, so we're going to hurry. If you haven't, go right now, YouTube, go to FitFam, just click subscribe, it's free subscription. Listen to me and Hillary every week, please, and have your patients do it. We work hard to get information to your patients that lead them back to you. And Dr. Janine, Thriving Thursday.
Natural health, all things natural health, every Thursday morning.
Make sure you scan that. You want to make sure you're on Dr. Janine's list. please make sure you do that. Doctors, right now, go into the chat. You'll see that Wyatt put in there the link. Go ahead and click on that link. We'll see you in a minute. I look forward to seeing Clarice, Dr. Pizzadelli, Katie, Lyle Richards, Robert, Thomas, everyone. Please make sure you come over into the webinar right now. Look forward to seeing you in just a minute. Take care.
All righty. So do I use the same link to get back in?
I'm gonna give you a new one. I'm gonna email you a new one.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
See you in a minute.